So the Wuthering Waves survey is out now, and I want to do the survey with you all. The survey is, of course, random. It's a bit of a toss-up of which kind of survey you get. So, responding to my previous video, if I get the ToA endgame survey, then this video is going to go up. Or if I get a survey concerning the collab characters and about pulling them, then I will get the survey. I will upload this as well. So, either of those two happen, greetings. I'm Seraphilor. Like and subscribe. Let's go ahead and take a look at this questionnaire. All right, so I actually do get questions about the ToA, so this is definitely going up. So how satisfied are you with the version 3.4's Tower of Adversity? Very dissatisfied. Why is version 3.4's Tower of Adversity not satisfactory? Let's see. Winning rewards was difficult. I'll put that down. HP. Enemy HP is way too high for the level of resonators we have. Recently released resonators like Rebecca and Lucy underperform, and the shelf life of recent resonators has gone down because of the HP increase. Enemies are also placed too far away from each other. I don't think that was a problem, so I'll skip that one. Maybe it was. I don't remember. Some enemies were overly difficult to defeat, of course. The Lampy Lumen Myriad has too much HP and is constantly jumping and teleporting, making characters like Jian difficult to use. And yeah, that's pretty much it. How satisfied you are with Whimpering Wastes? Very dissatisfied. Hello? Enemies were overly difficult to defeat. Winning rewards was difficult. Winning rewards was too time consuming. Enemies were too far to place in each other, and we're going to put other. Some enemies were overly difficult to defeat. That is because of the HP inflation, so I'll just put enemy HP is too high, making them take too long to defeat unless you use very specific characters. Specific characters such as Hiyuki or Imith. 2 characters being useful out of the large roster we have now is bad game design. Winning rewards was difficult. Enemy HP is too high, making them take too long to defeat and makes scoring well very difficult. Unless you have the specific characters that work with the specific tokens, you cannot score well with average skill. Enemies were placed too far away from each other. Enemies like the deer and the bees have too much HP, so they take long to defeat. And because of that, they wander off and separate from each other. There we go. And other, I'll mention the tokens. The tokens only favor only favor 2 characters at at a time. Hiyuki and Imith. Yeah, Hiyuki and Imith. I'll put 2 DPSs. 2 main DPSs at a time. Hiyuki and Imith. They are the only characters worth using. There are no general tokens that everyone can use, and strong characters for Whimpering Wastes like Sigrika and Furlova constantly face attribute resistance, making them difficult to clear with. There we go. Any other additional feedback? Make buffs to old resonators more interesting. There we go. That's my main feedback concerning End State Matrix in specific. If Wuthering Wastes were to collaborate with another IP in the future, which of the following criteria would you like the IP to meet? I am familiar with, fond of the IP, and the IP has high compatibility with Wuthering Waves' world and characters. The IP is widely discussed. It doesn't have to be widely discussed. They can use the collab to like introduce a whole demographic of people to the IP. If Wuthering Waves were to have another collaboration, is there any IP you would like to see? Yes, of course. I'm going to go with Final Fantasy VII Remake. There we go. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Strongly agree. Good brand image. It's not widely discussed. Like, yeah, people talk about it, but it's not widely as discussed as like a Resident Evil game. To be fair. High compatibility, of course. And the IP has not collaborated with other games. I do not know if Remake specifically has collabed with other games yet. I'm going to put that as unable to rate, because I really don't know. 7 Remake, which characters for Final Fantasy VII Remake? Obviously, we have to have Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, Zack. Those are the 4 characters I'd want. Any combination of the 2 would be great. So if Wuthering Waves were to collaborate with Final Fantasy VII Remake, what kind of collaboration content would you look forward to most? Characters, duh. Let's see. If Wuthering Waves were to collaborate with Final Fantasy VII Remake in your expected form, how would it affect your behavior regarding Wuthering Waves in the following aspects? Let's see. Willingness to play. Yeah, I'd be more willing to play. I'll be more willing to pull and to discuss. And, yeah, sure, of course. We'll look forward to seeing in the collaboration story. Focus on the charming traits, sure. Unresolved plot points. If this was Final Fantasy VII Original, I could see that. But I'm specifically talking about the remake. And if the remake is, well, they say that Revelation is going to wrap everything up. So I don't think there should be any unresolved plot points. So I'll just leave that unchecked for now. Interactions, new charming traits, content that provides a sense of closure, content that tells a story not covered in the original work. Yeah, let's go with that. Collaborate with Final Fantasy VII Remake. What kind of dynamics would you prefer between the story and the original work? I don't want a continuation of the original plot, if at all possible. Not a what-if scenario that runs parallel to the original story set in the world of the original world with scenes and plot points recreated. That would be pretty cool. A recreation of like the final battle against Sephiroth? Sure. Sounds great. Yeah, that would be great. Of course, characters. Do you have any other thoughts and suggestions regarding collaborations in Wuthering Waves? Please do not make collaboration. Characters so weak unless they are available long term or the gacha system is better. The current Edge Runners collab characters are underwhelming performance-wise. That's very true. They are quite underwhelming unless you pull copies of them. And players need copies. Players need copies to make them competitive with their current version contemporaries. Also, the Lucy and Rebecca team feels incomplete. So consider making 3 characters at minimum, or do not give them any collaboration gimmick so that they can work on multiple teams. Lucy needs Rebecca to function, and that is not fair to Lucy. Not fair to Lucy. She shouldn't have been so tied to a single character. While Rebecca can work as a decent sub DPS for heavy attackers. Is there anything else? I mentioned the gacha. I guess I'll talk about the gacha some more. The gacha is really bad. It needs an overhaul. You cannot have a 50-50 loss system on a collaboration banner that goes away in 32 days. It needs to have no 50-50 or be available long term so that everyone has a chance at getting the characters, their weapons, and copies. Especially if they're going to be weak like Lucy and Rebecca are. Okay, next page. Based on your experience in the game so far, do you have any additional feedback or suggestions? Please buff the 1.x roster to make them competitive with their 3.x contemporaries. Rerun them, or if buffs aren't possible, give them fresh echoes that increase their power. The 1.x characters have been ignored for a long time, and they should be given some attention to help with the rising HP in in-game modes. Alright, that's pretty much it. I've said everything I needed to say when it comes to the ToA and Whimpering Wastes. And yeah, I've said everything I need to say concerning the Edge Runners collab too. So I can't think of anything else right now, so I'm just going to submit. So that's pretty much it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you all next time. Later.